Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my city review for Flux Trance's Rhinestone Island. And if you haven't checked out the first episode of this review, I will link that now so you can go check that out. Also, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and comment, I really appreciate it. So, today in this episode, I'll be focusing on a range of different things. Last episode was more transport oriented, last episode was more traffic oriented and kind of the street layout oriented. So this episode I'll try to move away from that, although I still plan to mention a couple of little things about the traffic layout and those types of things. So let's get into it and start reviewing. Okay, so if you didn't watch the first episode, I'll just explain quickly. A lot of the mods and assets actually didn't download for some reason, and a lot of them I didn't download on purpose. So, I kind of just let it run just to see how the traffic would flow, and that's why some of the buildings are dead and there's lots of open space because nothing's building, there's no demand, there's nothing going on. So, just try to look past that because I'm not really focusing on how the buildings look. So, the first thing I would like to mention is that actually in the downtown area he's used quite a lot of bus lanes, as we can see here, and he's mainly done that in the downtown area only, and I actually really like that idea because there's going to be a lot of buses coming around through the downtown area as there's a lot of people and there's going to be a lot of traffic, so it's good to have those lanes on the sides. So you can see it goes all the way across out to the office areas, so that's helping to facilitate getting people from the downtown area to the offices so they can get to work easy. So yeah, they do flow around quite a lot, and then see it kind of stops here, but that's okay because it's more downtown area. He's removed the bus lanes the more you go out into the suburbs because as you go out, of course, there's less traffic, so that makes sense. If you have a lot of traffic issues in your city in the game, go ahead and try some bus lanes and just see if that helps remove congestion and traffic buildup and those types of things. So another thing I'd like to mention is that he's actually used quite a large amount of tunnels, which is a good idea. Okay, let's just ignore how it's all flashing like that. So I just want to go to how the tunnels look. Yeah. So as you can see, he has a really huge tunnel network, and part of me likes it, but part of me also doesn't like it because it seems a little unrealistic, even though it's just a game, but this many tunnels in real life is a little bit too unrealistic. And although I guess for this city and how he's designed it, I guess it kind of works. And so if we zoom in, this is I guess one of the main intersections here, and then you can see that it just goes out into random areas of the residential area. If I just close that, so you can see there's random entrances, so that'll help spread the traffic out into the city area more evenly, instead of, for example, having all the traffic meet to this little road here and then all the traffic has to flow out from there. He's actually split it all up, which is what we like to do in real life and what I like to do in the game. So using tunnels to help spread it all out is really helpful, so I commend you on that. Also, if we go over to this part here, so I know it's just a game, but I really like the use of these here because they help reduce the wave attenuation issues actually for the harbour, and the wave attenuation issues are actually a really major issue for coastal cities in real life, and so of course having something like that is really beneficial to this type of area here. And also I do like how he's added in some rocks here because it kind of just makes it more realistic, and of course in real life you need something that will help reduce the amount of erosion. This high school here and this primary school, well mainly the high school, I like how he's actually put it on the back street. He hasn't put it on the main street because the school is here, so that's already going to create a lot of traffic because they're all going to come here. But then, so instead of having this here, he's actually put it over here, so that'll spread out the traffic more. and he's put it on that little road, which is actually what happens in a lot of small towns. I mean, both of my high school and my primary school both were on a little road like this, separated from the actual main road, just because it's removing all of the school traffic from this road and putting it over there out of the way. And I assume there was some kind of monorail station type mod asset here, but it's not. I didn't download it, so it's not actually here. But I really like the fact that he's got the harbour here, and then they can instantly get straight off and get straight onto the train or the monorail, and there's also the bus. So it's always important to connect public transport to other public transport, because if you just think like you come to a new city, you get here, and then you think, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? And then they see this right here, and that'll just open up the options for them. They can easily get to the downtown area directly. The only concern I have for this type of facility here is the amount of noise and traffic in general, because first of all, there's going to be a lot of buses, there's going to be a lot of trains, there's going to be a lot of activity related to the harbour, and then also the noise from the ship. So my concern is, I don't know what was zoned for this area. I don't know if it was residential, industrial, commercial, but my recommendation would either be commercial or office space. I don't want the residential areas to actually be annoyed by the noise pollution coming from this area here. So my guess is that where all these little pathways are is where he concentrated his residential areas. So, but I wish I could actually see what was here. It would be more helpful with this review. But nonetheless, I'm sure it's fine. And of course, once again, since there's going to be a lot of buses here, he's got some kind of roundabout here. So, because if there was no roundabout, they'd have to do traffic lights, and since there's so many different lanes going everywhere, there'd be quite a lot of traffic building up. So yeah, doing a roundabout in this situation right here is probably the best for this particular location. I guess I do like how he's connected this little area with this little area through this kind of dirt road, because to me it's kind of symbolizing a more historical type of road that may have been used before the highway was constructed. So I can just imagine like a horse and carriage, they're going up around here, it takes hours and hours just to get there, but yeah, that's what I like about that, because it kind of gives it a more in-depth feel to the city and gives it more of a storyline, in my opinion. So yeah, it's good. And I think for this situation here, I always say that if you watch the last episode, you'd know that I said it's always good to separate the on and off ramps and then do another road that goes directly over that doesn't actually connect with the highway, but hopefully that made sense. But for this particular situation, since the population density is extremely low, I think it's fine to have the only one road going underneath, and then that connects to the on and off ramps and also a train line. So I think in that situation it's fine. Again, I like the use of the pathways along the water, and I like that right here he doesn't put all of the buildings right up against the water, because it's always good to have some kind of setback. Except I guess over here it's okay, because the water flow is probably not as high as over here, maybe, I don't know. Also, I like how he's got the incineration plants actually with their own complete on and off ramps to the highway, because since they're trying to go basically everywhere in the city, they need to have some really good connection onto the main highway. So what he's done here is actually it's pretty good. But the only thing that I don't like is that it's all backwards. I'm in Australia, it's all backwards. So they come along this way, and they're only forced to go straight. They can't actually like go like this. They can only go one way. So yeah, that's a good idea like that. Although, is it possibly too close to the residential area? Is it going to create pollution issues? It's very likely. And once again, He's added in lots of little pathways. Are they pathways or roads? They're just a pathway, but it creates a more in-depth feel to the map, and I guess you could say they're more like hiking tracks to get over to this more private beach area. So yeah, I like that he's connected those pathways kind of all over. And I also like how in this area here he has the more common type of road, but the further you go out it becomes dirt. And also like how he's got kind of, it doesn't really connect right here because you're leaving space for the airport, but I like how he's got this area here and it's just all dirt because it gives it that more, I guess, rural feel. So a couple of other things that I noticed around the city is that where he has put the fire stations and the police station, they're not directly on the main roads, they're actually usually set back a little bit, which is what I like to encourage. And so I wanted to mention, so there's one thing that I should mention before I end this episode. In the last episode I asked you all, what is wrong with this picture? And I'd say probably 80% of you actually guessed it correctly, and if you watch my past videos, I'm sure you could easily pick up what is wrong with it. Some people said maybe there's noise issues, maybe there's no barrier, so it's going to create noise issues. I mean, that could be an issue, but I mean, if they're buying right on the highway, then they should assume there's going to be noise. But that's not the issue I was looking at. Someone mentioned maybe this type of overpass here is the issue. No, it's not what I was focusing on. So, okay, the issue, what I have is that the traffic goes along here, okay? It enters here, and then it exits here. So, there's just going to be so many issues right here, and even if you try to download some kind of mod and try to rearrange traffic, it's just not going to work. So, I'm actually going to rebuild this area quickly, and then you can see how it should actually flow a lot better. Okay, so it's kind of all wonky, but I just built it really quickly just as a quick example. So the traffic will exit onto the highway, and then that's it. They don't need to interfere with anyone else. That's it. The traffic going off the road actually exits before the exit ramp. So they'll go off here, and that's it. They don't need to interfere with this one. And the reason why I added in this lane here is because if they need to get from here and they want to get up to here or something, they can just go straight along and then connect onto that off ramp, and then that's it. It's so much more simpler like that way. The original way, I guess it's fine if the traffic amount was really, really low, but it's a highway, so I assume it would be quite high. So in this case, how I've built it is more suitable and would extremely reduce congestion. So that's how I would do it anyway. And also quickly, before I wrap up the episode, I'd like to say that having these two harbours right here is actually a pretty good idea, because in real life the harbour is actually kind of close to the downtown area, and it's connected by a highway. So, and also having the train connection is really good, and the train connection here to the downtown area is really good as well. So having these two types of train stations close to the downtown area is extremely beneficial. And also, just two more things before I finish the episode. I noticed that this train station here is kind of on its own. It doesn't really connect anywhere in terms of pedestrian access. So my recommendation is to put a pedestrian pathway over the train tracks and then kind of connect it to here, or put one that also goes up to here as well, to the subway station, but how it is now is kind of a bit random. It's kind of just on its own down there, and yeah, just seems out of place. But on the other hand, I like how where he's got the subway stations, he's actually put the pedestrian pathways over the intersection. So that's a really good idea, especially for the downtown area. And he's also done it down here as well. So I'd recommend doing that in your game as well. And since there's going to be a lot of noise pollution coming from the subway, it's good that he's actually put in a lot of vegetation around those areas, because from what I can see, it's more residential focused in this particular area. And yeah, so that's all I'm going to do for this episode. I don't know if I'll do another one, because this city, it's missing too many assets, so I can't really give a proper review. So perhaps if there's something that people want me to review very specifically, let me know in the comments and I'll come back to this city and review it. But if not, I will move on to another city and also continue with my Let's Play series and some other content I'm working on. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed reviewing it, and I will definitely be doing more reviews of other cities. Yeah, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.